Hello, everybody. Hello, Jodie.
Hello, Pamela. How are you today? I'm excited to be here.
I am so excited to be here. And as I told you before,
Mhm.
I'm here in my hat and my little coat because I'm harmonizing. And I know we're talking about harmonizing for the holidays. And I was going to run it back home today and go do something
Mhm.
with my hair. And I thought, wait a minute, that would not be harmonious right now because I'm behind, I'm a little
Mhm.
stretched for time. So I'm just going to choose to harmonize with my hat and come on here with you. So that has been my day. So how about you? How are you?
I am in a re-entry mode from having co-facilitated a retreat this past weekend. And so, yeah, if that feels great to me too, to just show up and be authentic and be us and just be. Because if there's anything that I'm going to stress out about, it's rushing and being stressed and I'm going to be late or, what if this happens? And, I don't choose that. I choose to say, yes, all the pieces of our lives need to flow together in harmony. And if it's coming from one thing and that is what feels easy and more flowing for you, is just, coming in as you are, I believe that gives everybody else permission to do the same and to not be stressing and rushing and worrying about all of those things that honestly doesn't matter. What matters and what is going to create more flow and more harmony is showing up the way
Yes.
you know that you're meant to show up today. And so I welcome the hats. I welcome the jacket. I welcome all of you.
I welcome all of you. That is great. I love how you put that. And with that, we're going to talk about harmonizing for the holidays. And so we're going to do that. We're going to go live pretty much every week, everybody, as
Mhm.
we're heading up to the holidays to talk about that because this season is supposed to be so much fun. And even though I just see a comment from, I'm going to pop it up here. Hello, darling. So glad that you're here watching us. I just wanted to say hi. Um, uh, we people stress out at the holidays for numerous reasons, right?
Mhm.
There's that proverbial statement of, the holidays, stomping through the stores, jingle bells, whatever, and that's not what it is supposed to be about at all. And as leaders, whether that is in business, as parents, as friends, wherever, whatever, the holidays should not be a season that we abhor or that we roll our eyes at, or
Mhm.
even if we've had things in the past that have caused us to have disdain or a bad taste towards them, that you're going to have the holidays come every year. Let me tell you, they come every year. So why not start to adjust and bend and weave now about the upcoming holidays so that you could enjoy them because they're coming anyways, and begin to lay down some new rails in our minds and our hearts for how we are going to perceive them going forward. And we're going to start with that today. And so I want to ask you, Dr. Jodie, what stresses you out at the holidays if you let it,
If
honestly?
I let it. Yes. And that's so true, right? It's a perspective shift because we don't have to let it. But for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's that, yes, all of these fun, right? The mandatory fun events are on top of everything else we're already dealing with in our everyday lives. I think that's very stressful for a lot of people. And so we can get evented out. And we can feel like we're not replenishing and recharging our energy. We're feeling really depleted from all of the obligations or perceived obligations, the things that we think we have to do versus looking at it that we get to do this. And like you said, just being a little more pessimistic or a little gritchy about the holiday season versus looking at it as this beautiful gift to have this time with people that you love, to be able to enjoy the season, to be able to, celebrate, and to be able to just be so grateful for all the gifts that we are given, not just the physical things, right? Not the things, but the true gifts of the season. And so for me, if I let it, that could feel really overwhelming. It can feel really heavy, and it can feel like I'm, again, rushing from thing to thing. And so what I found is that if that's what you focus on, is trying to cram in all of the things and being so stressed out about it, it just creates more. It creates more stress. It creates more overwhelm. It creates more frantic energy. And so that's why harmonizing is so important, because we are whole people. There's a lot of different areas of our lives. There's a lot that we do in our lives. There's a lot of other people in our lives. And we want to make sure that we have harmony, right? Me having that harmony in my life allows others to have that harmony in theirs. It's that ripple effect. And I see Dr. Donato in the comments saying, yes, we have to stay charged up with our body and our soul. It's so important, right? Mind, body, spirit. We have to stay recharged. And so that's one thing I do to make sure that that doesn't stress me out, is I make sure to give myself that space to rest and recharge, to be my best. So then I can show up with gratitude. I can show up with joy, and I can show up with harmony. How about you?
Well, first of all, I can so relate to that, right? Trying to be everything for everyone, in the aspect of like, go, 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 go. And for me, I was the host for so long. Like I would host, and I love hosting, by the way, but I would allow it to get the best of me. And instead of enjoying the process, I was, stressed about the process. So whether it was inviting over 30 people or more that were going to come and join us for a holiday dinner, or it was something as simple as breakfast Christmas morning, I would find myself in this mindset that was really not healthy for me, about go, 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 do, do, do. And it caused me to feel like I was never achieving enough, or it was never good enough, or it never looked good enough. It never was the way it should have been presented. The cookies weren't good enough. There wasn't enough potatoes. Whatever it was, I would stress about it and found myself not enjoying what I was supposed to be enjoying. And then on top of that, then I would beat myself up for that, because, like, Pamela, you teach not to do what you're doing and you're doing it. Or I'd snap at my kids or something. And it was like, oh, this is not what I want. As memories growing up, where we have all of this fun festivities, and I'm crabby or sick or something like that, right? And to just go with the flow. And I remember, Jodie, the time when I made a decision that we were no longer going to bring out the china. Because I grew up in a family where we brought out the china and the crystal, at least on Thanksgiving. And that's the way it was. And so we did that, and that was at my grandmother's house. She would all, I had all of that. And I remember that the year that I said we are doing Chinette instead of China.
Yes.
And at first I was absolutely I was so torn on the inside about it, because, oh, you can't have that. You can't have that. But as I just like settled into it, and especially at the end, when I didn't have dish after dish after dish that somebody needed to do, and it was just in the garbage, in the garbage, in the garbage. Ha 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 ha. I was like, oh, this feels so much better. Never again, never again, never again. No offense on the China, but never again at a big event like that. So that to me those are things that would stress me out. Even having to have the most perfect Christmas card, because we would always make our Christmas cards, and we have to go take the card picture, and we have to do it now, and everybody need. And I'm so over it. And so harmonizing and starting now to begin to not just plan your meal. We talked about that before we went live. Like, people are planning their meals, they're planning their events, or even planning how to stay healthy. They're planning their exercise routines. How about planning how to harmonize on the inside so that you have your game on as the holidays approach, that you are already looking through a different lens, right? So that to me, those are some of my hardcore holiday hiccups for me. And I see that there's a couple other people that have like done
Yeah, there's a lot of stress. Yeah, Thanksgiving can be the best. It can be also the most stressful. And I can definitely relate when you're talking about cooking. Like, who wants to be the person that nobody wants to be around when you're cooking? Because you're just going to snap at them and throw them out, and you're so overwhelmed. And yeah, it can be a lot, right? It can
and
be a lot because you're taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your family. You may be doing outreach or volunteering or donations and coordinating things. So yeah, it's really, really important to give ourselves space and grace and compassion and not feel like we have to do it all and it's all on our shoulders.
that it all doesn't have to be perfect.
That's right. That perfectionism is a heavy, heavy weight.
Absolutely. And that kind of, I'm going to take us into a little segue here, because we want to talk about, well, I call it God's universal law, and God's universal law of that perpetual transmutation of energy. And before people that might be watching that are going, wait a second, she said that word energy. Wait, should I be terrified of that word? No, you shouldn't be. You know, God himself, when he breathed the breath of life into man, yes, it was what was in him, in God, came out and went into man. But what part of that was the energy of life, okay? Because all we have to do is see ourselves on an infrared camera to see that life energy just all around us. We just radiate it. And we also know that in the scriptures, it talks about, that what we think in our heart, that's what will be. And what we say is what will happen. And that what we hold as treasure here in our hearts is what is going to come out of our mouth, right? So that's what that perpetual transmutation of energy law is all about. Is, in a nutshell, everything is. It is, and I don't mean that in some weird way, everything is. I just mean everything is. It is coming into a creation, it's moving through something, and it's coming out. There's a Hebrew word, Jodie, that says moed, M-O-E-D. And that word means God's anointed, appointed times, and it's used in the Old Testament to talk about the feasts of the Lord, but the appointed times of the Lord. So in our lives, we are either coming into a moed, we're in a moed, or we're coming out of a moed. And then depending upon what season we're in our life, right? How we are internalizing what's happening. Are we stressed out? Or are we in prayer? Are we in a place where we're reflective? Are we practicing the things that are going to bring calmness and peace to us? Or are we is going to determine the outcome of the holidays or whatever the situation is. And the law, scientifically speaking, of perpetual transmutation of energy is saying this: we are literally pulling to us what it is that is occupying our thoughts and our minds. And so if we are saying, I get sick every year this time of year. Guess what's coming to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thing is once it comes to here, it turns into a thought. That thought turns into a belief. That belief turns into a behavior, and boom, we have a result. So it is really a scientific law that the Bible agrees with, and the Bible agrees with the scientific law. And so, with this idea of it's perpetual, it's unending, God's unending, and this transmutation of what are we allowing here? What are we considering to be the thoughts that we are going to think about?
Mm-hmm.
It is going to produce something in our life is a reality. And so, with harmonizing for the holidays, I want to just point everybody to this truth, this fact, and that is that we are absolutely either going to harmonize or we're going to have disharmony. And the choice is us. It's up to us. That doesn't mean that everything that happens is up to us, but the choice is us. And so we're going to camp on that for a little bit while we're together. And I just want to throw that ball back over to you, Jodie, and say, take it from there. Talk to us a little bit about that. And let's go a little bit deeper.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, that science, and whether it's physics, psychology, right? It's all on that same page. And it really is that whatever is in our heart, whatever's in our minds, what we tell our subconscious minds is what is going to come out as our result eventually. Because, like you said, the thoughts and the beliefs lead to the emotions, those lead to your actions, your behaviors, and those lead to your results. And so the non physical, right, those thoughts and those beliefs and those feelings end up transmuting or translating right
Yeah.
into those physical results of what you're going to get. So if you're thinking that, oh, I'm going to be so stressed, it's going to be so chaotic, it's going to be so busy, it's so much, it's so much, it's so much, what are you going to get? You're going to get too
Right.
much, right? You're going to get too much because you're already putting that energy out there, and you're telling yourself that how it's going to be, right? And so everything's just going to stack on top of each other. If
Mm-hmm.
you are telling yourself that, something more supportive and saying, you know what, I can do all of these things. I can figure this out. I can have harmony. I can have ease and flow in my holiday season. I can let go of some of that perfection in order to have that harmony. Then you're setting yourself up for a very successful holiday season. And so that's what we want to share. And I love that Donato said, yes, wherever you go, there you are. That's been one of my favorite sayings for a very long time, because it's true. It's true. Wherever you go, there you are. Definitely think about that. I know that's a great quote from Donato about how you get to choose. And so when we're more mindful and we're more aware of those thoughts that we're thinking and the actions that we're taking, we
Yeah.
have a lot more control over how our holiday season turns out than we think we do. Sometimes we have all these habits and patterns, and we think that we just have to succumb to those, that that's just the way it is. And it doesn't have to be. Exactly like what you were saying about the china. That's just always the way it was in your
Right.
family. And but it didn't have to be that way. If that was something that was causing it to be just a little too much on your plate, like pun intended, then you are able to say, you know what? I don't want to do all of those dishes on top of all of that cooking. I don't have to do that. I get to make a choice. I get to do something different. And you didn't even realize that first time you did that, I'm sure, what an impact it was going to have. Just that little weight lifted off of you.
Yeah.
It's so much more joy and so much more harmony. You could be more present. You weren't snapping at the kids and being, cranky and exhausted by the time you got
Yeah.
to your meal. So you couldn't even enjoy it because you were so tired and stressed. And so absolutely, whatever we think about, if you heard this right, we bring about. And
Yes.
it is truly our focus that makes a big difference in the results that we get in our lives.
That is so good. What we think about, we bring about. Those bring those results in our lives. You know, if I can give an example,
Mm-hmm.
water is water, right? Water is water, and yet we can see water coming into all different forms.
Mm-hmm.
You have water that you can drink or clean in or wash in, but you can freeze it and it's ice. You can, heat it up and it's steam. And you can even say that the steam will rise and become a cloud. And then we have precipitation, but precipitation can come in many forms. It can come as water, rain, as snow in Minnesota, anyways, as sleet, as hail, but it's all what? Water. It is how it is presented. And that is what Jodie and I are endeavoring to communicate to you today and to ourselves. What do you want presented for the holidays? Where do you want to be at on the inside? How do you want to go into this season? What frame of mind or heart do you want as you are preparing for, as Miss Rita said, the outreaches, the family meals, the whatever it is that you have, the gift shopping. I can remember going to Walmart many years ago for their early, when they did the like 5 a.m., the day after Thanksgiving. And I went there with my list and my cafe coffee from the coffee shop and my Jingle Bell earrings in and wearing my Jingle Bell socks. And I was going and I was going to have all of this great time. And I got out of the car in the parking lot. And there were two people like having a fist fight over a cart at 5:30 in the morning. And when I got in there, people were just pushing and shoving everybody, and Jingle Bells is playing, and everybody looks like, like that. And they're fighting over who's going to get the last whatever. And none of the employees, nobody looks happy to be there. And I'm thinking, is that I never went back again. I never did anything like that again, because that is not pleasurable. So what is it this year that is pleasurable for you? Or what is something in your heart that you want to see change, that you want God to help you change? He will change it for you, but you have to give him the space and the grace to be able to do it. Maybe there's a memory that pulls a trigger for you and it makes this season more difficult or challenging for you. Maybe you're in a place where you don't feel the best. Maybe you're not able to do the things that you once were, and that bothers you. What is it that you would like to see change? From maybe the ice cube version to the steam. What is it that you would rather have raining down this season? Is it the hail or is it a gentle rain? What would you like? Because you have so much more control over that by the grace of God than you realize that you do. And it starts by you making a conscious decision right now how you want to enter in. And so, Dr. Jodie, I would love it if we could just give a few little pointers for people that they could start thinking about. And my first pointer that I'm going to give, and I'll throw the ball to you to give us another one, is I'm saying go within. Take some time to be still and know. Get alone with yourself. Even Jesus did that. Come on. Even he went alone, going to a quiet place. Okay. Get alone somehow, get in your car, shut the door, lock it when you brush your teeth, whatever you need to do, and reflect. What is it that you want to see change? Because that's like that first revelation or acknowledging that there is something that is being transformed or translated, transmuted that you don't want. There is something that is negative, that brings you down, that makes you angry, that causes a trigger. What is that? And acknowledge that, and don't let it acknowledge it in a way it's like, and acknowledge it from a place of victory, that I'm going to deal with that this year. And we're going to start laying down some new inroads up here and here. but you have to know where you're going to start from. So that's what I would say is step one is, what is it? Like we kind of talked back and forth about what those things were for us. Some of you have put up on here in the comments what that is for you. So like get real, and it's okay to be real. It's okay to say, I'm crabby I'm always crabby at Christmas or whatever. That's okay. If we don't acknowledge it, it's that proverbial elephant that's in the corner that everybody sees anyways. So let's own it, and let's not own it and say, well, I'm just crabby at Christmas because everybody's crabby at Christmas in my family. Do you really want to be crabby at Christmas? I don't think you do. Wouldn't you like to begin something new, turn over a new leaf? So let's identify what that first step is. What is it that you want to see change? And I'll throw the ball to you, Jodie. What can we do after that?
Oh, that's so good. So yes, I always believe awareness is that first step. Like, what do you want to change? And then, like you said, acknowledge it.
Yeah.
Accept it without judgments, without thinking that it's not changeable. And then it's time to create a new vision. Right? Create that new vision of what would you like that your holiday season to look and feel like.
Mm.
So what is it that irks you, all right, or stresses you about the holiday season?
Okay.
And what would you like that to feel like? And then what we're going to be doing is we're going to work on the action parts with you. We're actually going to be holding a Harmonizing for the Holidays masterclass. We're going to actually do a couple parts to that, and we're going to work on the action steps. So, doing a little bit of pre-work now, thinking about that of, what are those pieces of awareness and what do you need to acknowledge? And then creating that vision for yourself of how would you like that to look and how would you like that to feel? Where can you create some space where can you create more joy, more pleasure in your holiday season to really, really enjoy that and have gratitude in it. And then during that masterclass, we're going to work on the how-tos. We're going to work on what is going to shift in order for you to go from how you're feeling about the holidays now to how you want to feel. And so we're actually going to be holding that masterclass on Tuesday, November 7th at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. Really, really excited about that. I was translating in my head because that's 5:30 Pacific time here where I'm at. And so we will have some information coming soon about that masterclass. But for any of you who would like to join us and having that conversation and in working through your holiday season so you can have the best Thanksgiving ever, that can be something for you, the holidays that you're celebrating in the months of November and December, so that you can put a plan in place for those and create more space and joy and pleasure for yourself. So make sure to comment here or DM one of us and let us know. You can just, put, we're calling it Harmonizing the Holidays. And so you can put, harmony in the
Yes.
comments. Harmony. It's all about harmony. So harmony in the comments if you would like that information, and then stay tuned because we are absolutely going to be coming back to you with some more information as it gets closer because we think everyone deserves to
Yeah.
have a harmonious holiday season.
And amen to that. And I'll tell you what, if you start now thinking about this, you are laying down that first inroad, laying down new rails like that a choo-choo train would go on. You're beginning to lay down, you're switching the track. You know how those trains they have to pick which track it's going to go on and then they switch the track. You're beginning to switch that track even right now. And this masterclass that we're going to hold is FREE. So you don't have to pay to come to it. It's virtual, and we will be meeting on Zoom. So information will come to you. But like Miss Jodie said, if that's something that you want to do and you're like, yes, I know already, I want that, please reach out to us. Before we wrap up, I want to give you one more gold nugget, and then we have one more thing to download on you just to give you a little bit more goodness. I want to share this piece with you. So Jodie said, start thinking about like what you want it to be instead. How do you want the holidays to be instead? Because you've looked at, backing up to what I said, what is it that I don't want? Right? So you know what it is that you don't want. And now you know what it is that you would like. I want to just challenge you to take it one step further and write it down. And then say it every day. Say it every day, like in the morning and at night, but just say it every day. And you can write it down as simple as this. You could say, I used to stress out during the holidays over, or this caused me to stress out because of, or I'll use angry. We talked about that before. I used to be so angry during the holidays, but I am learning how to let that go and be joyful instead. Or I used to be so frustrated during the holidays, but now I'm learning how to be peaceful instead. I am learning how to be peaceful, and this is going to be the best holiday ever. Just to give you some ideas of some things that you could say. And if you write it down, then you won't forget it. And when you write it down, there's a reason why your teachers in school made you write things down. It helps you remember, it helps you retrain your brain. And then you can read it, you can say it. And in that first person, I used to feel this way and now I feel this way. You're telling yourself, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. We're doing things differently now. So we are so excited to share some wonderful holiday joy and peace and just some real-time stuff with y'all. And we also have an academy, the Mindful Success Academy, where we practice mindfulness, and we practice how to be aware and how to change all that stinking thinking and all of that stuff that we have had trained, that we just regurgitate and we just parrot our lives. And we want to change that, because when we start to take a different direction in our life, everything else begins to change. Our health gets better, wealth comes to you. And I don't just mean physical wealth like money. Wealth in multiple ways comes to you in your relationships and in spiritually, mentally, emotionally, all those things. And so we got together and we said, hey, we have like over 50 years of experience in these areas. What if we put it together and we decide to download on people and teach them how to live their life from the inside out successfully? And so we are going to be rolling that out in the new year. Woo! But as you're harmonizing the holidays with us, we have a special holiday gift that we just want to share with you now. And I'm going to let Jodie do that. So take it away, Jodie. Tell everybody about our special gift.
Oh, I'm so excited about this. So we are doing our official kickoff for the Mindful Success Academy in the new year. However, anyone who joins us is going to get 2 months free. So if you join us now, you get all the way through the end of the year with us, both of us, for free. We're going to be helping you, of course, dive deeper into harmonizing your holidays. We're going to be doing so much amazing work together to help you to really shift your mindset and shift your results in your life in all areas. Like Pamela said, it's mental, it's emotional, it's our physical health and well-being, it's our relationships, our spiritual, all of the pieces of who we are. We get to shift that. We get to shift our perspective and get better, more positive results and help you to be able to grow into this new year. And so we know that it's a busy time. We know that there's a lot going on over these next couple months as we go into the holidays. And so we're going to ease you in. You're going to get so much value. You're going to get so much where you're going to be able to start off the year strong because you started thinking about it now. I love what you said earlier, Pamela, about thinking about it now, not the week before Thanksgiving, not, as you're already starting the holiday parties, really putting that into place right now is going to set you up for success. And it's going to give you that harmonious, joyful, peaceful holiday season where you can take care of yourself and others. And it doesn't have to be stressful. It doesn't. It
Right.
can be the kind of season where it can be filled with gratitude and feel like you get to versus you have to. And so I'm also going to put the link in to join us for the Mindful Success Academy. Again, we're just going to have a nice, slow, easy, flowing,
Mhm.
peaceful rollout because that felt so good to us.
Yes.
We get it. Life is full and life happens a lot all the time. And so we knew that for us, that felt really good. And so we knew for you that it would feel really good. And to be able to get those 2 months, because the Mindful Success Academy is a 6-month program. So that will kick off at the beginning of the year for 6 months to be able to get these first couple months of access to us and our mentorship for free just felt such an amazing gift that we can give to you all.
It felt so right. It just felt so right. And we love to do it. And we look forward to being together with you. It's going to be amazing. So, recapping, we're going to be back again next week live. And you can catch a replay of this on my podcast. Woohoo! So, you'll be able to catch this on Purpose by Design. So, whenever we go live, you can also catch it later on the podcast. And I will post that. So, you can catch that on Spotify or wherever you like to listen or whatever. You'll have that every week. We are also going to be hosting free masterclasses to help you harmonize. And then if you are interested, you're feeling that pull, like, I want to jump into this academy, I want to be a part of this, I really would like to be in a place where there is just like this circle of harmony and be with people of faith that will help you to stay grounded and to really focus on the real reason for the seasons, what really matters at the end of the day. That's what we would love to partner with you in. And if you come into the academy with us, we are going to just walk in hand. We'll just be hand in hand and have a very beautiful holiday season together. But regardless of whether or not you want to jump into the academy and take advantage of those 2 months at no charge as our gift to you, we are hoping that we will see you live later and at the masterclass. Thank you so much for being with us today. And I always like to say this, Jodie, you're here on purpose with a purpose by design, not by default. So go out there and be the salt and the light everywhere you go, and I will add in harmony. We'll see you later.
Thank you.